Hello and welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. And alongside my brothers, Chris to my right, James to my left, my name is Ryan. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Go and use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook. And Raycon. Raycon has rejoined as a sponsor for the month of November with THPN. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? Original thoughts coming out of tonight's 4-3 win over the Edmonton Oilers.
Fantastic. I mean, you're playing a super desperate team. You're obviously worn down. You score a bunch in the beginning of the game. You hang on for dear life, and they did a good job of it.
Yeah. Fortunate that games only last 60 minutes tonight. We were definitely, you could see it. Every single player was dead tired by the end of the game. And it didn't help that Edmonton really, really stuck it to us in the third as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go back to the whole idea that good teams still find a way to win. And they even mentioned it on the broadcast today, during the first intermission, or it might have been the second intermission, right before one of the periods got started. And the fact that we have yet to see the best of this team. And yet they still keep winning. They're 7-1-1. Their really only loss is to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that was a game that, I thought the Stars kind of outplayed the Maple Leafs, and they got goalied a little bit from Joseph Woll. So, I mean, these games still count in the Joe Mama stole my words. They still count at the end of the year. It's still 2 points. They don't ask how you did it. They just ask how many.
Yeah. It's like an impossible schedule for the Stars too. I mean, we start slow. We get our 4-day break after game 1. Then we get a 3-day break after game like 7 or 5 or whatever. And then we go back to back in Alberta. And now we got a game on Saturday against one of the hottest teams in the league, the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, and you're talking about how this game wasn't the best for the Stars, just like we've been seeing, and they're not up to their level yet. But as far as back-to-back games go, against a team with players as good as Edmonton has, that's about as good as you can ask for, given the circumstances. Yeah. I mean, really fantastic game in a lot of different departments. Obviously, some holes from very specific people and lines, I would say, as this game progressed. But overall, a great back-to-back game against a team that is much better than their record actually says.
Yeah, and if their record was better, this game might have been easier for us. I mean, I think it's harder. It's harder just based off of the fact that they have not been good, and they really should be, and they have the talent to be. And they were scrapping for one tonight, and Wedgwood just held it out, honestly.
And you could feel the desperate hockey from the get-go from Edmonton. And the Stars were able to match it for the first 2 periods. But like you said, James, they fully ran out of gas in the third. And it was hang on for dear life. And really, it was Wedgie, good luck. And he did his job.
I really want to jump on the whole Wedgwood fact. I still feel bad for him. It's like he has to give up 3 goals every single game. He has to.
But at least this time there was 49 shots, so a save percentage is like
50.
No, they took one away.
They took one away
because their buttheads.
Let him have it. So he ends up making 46 saves on the evening. Then, if it was only 49 shots, but 49. He was good. He was very good. But
incredible. Third.
Again, Razor also mentioned another good thing in the broadcast, and the fact that during the first and second period, the Stars were playing exactly the way you need to play on a second night of a back-to-back. You focus on the defensive side of the game, and you be opportunistic when you can take advantage of it. And especially in the second period, I mean, they were still kind of running down, tilting the ice towards the Stars zone, and it just seemed like we got the right thing at the right time, and we were able to take advantage of our opportunities.
Yeah, the second period is exactly what you were talking about, Ryan. Perfect defense. They got those shots. They were shooting those from the outside in the second period, every single one of them. They're clogging up the middle, not giving any space to the big guy on the other side. And like you said, execution. I mean, by Pavs and Rope, those were our 2 best chances of the period, and they both went in. I mean, fantastic plays by both of those guys.
It doesn't help when the other team, it doesn't help. The Oilers don't help their goaltender out very much on rushes tonight. No. I mean, it felt like we only had like 5 or 6 rushes, and we scored every single goal on the rush tonight. It's just like it's very obvious kind of what the problem is for this Edmonton team, and they just can't find a way to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, the second period, they literally left their goalie out there on his own. I mean, the 4 guys changed at the same time. And it was
3
like,
on 1.
Okay, boink, around the corner. And it was a dunk for Pavelski on that one. Wasn't even hard. Great pass by Heiskanen, though. Hit Rope in stride off of a bounce off the boards. Sweet.
And again, that didn't happen very much tonight. There weren't very many bad line changes by the Edmonton Oilers, but the one that they had, the Stars took advantage of it. And
they did it with the wrong guys on the ice for the Stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And between the Stars taking advantage of their opportunities and Wedgewall standing up and being a wall tonight, I mean, that's obviously the difference in the game. But I do want to talk about a couple of specific players. Miro was obviously good tonight. He's always good. I think he had maybe a couple of turnovers, but I was just like, they were in the third period. He plays like 30 minutes a night. It's ridiculous what he does. But the player I really want to highlight, because he deserves it and because we're on him so much, is Ryan Suter. He has had an excellent last 2 games, and he had some bad turnovers, but literally as soon as he turned it over, he was right there and got the puck right away. He had a little bit of help, but he was still there, and he had a fantastic game tonight.
I've said it before. Ryan Suter without the puck is a monster. I mean, if he doesn't touch the puck the entire game, he will be one of the best defensemen on the ice.
Yeah, if we're not noticing him, that's great. And he actually did make us notice him a couple of times. He had I can think of 3 great defensive plays he made against McDavid tonight to shut him down. So and Heiskanen going on McDavid, Draisaitl they locked him down. No points for either of those guys when they scored 3 goals tonight. That's pretty nuts.
And that was the whole first line, honestly. The whole first line did great against McDavid and Draisaitl tonight. They played very well defensively against those 2.
Really quick shout out to Sam Gagner for literally signing a contract and then scoring 2 goals in his first game coming back. Now, they were kind of garbage goals, but yeah, so we'll talk about that here in a second. But seriously, he was good for the Oilers tonight, and he actually ended up playing some time with Draisaitl and Connor McDavid just because it seemed like he was the only one getting any kind of offense going.
Yeah, and what a hype man on his own. He scores a garbage goal in the third period that he just rams in somehow, and he hyped the whole team up. I mean, good on him. That's pretty sweet.
That's good on the fans too. I mean,
I was
thinking that during the game.
I was like, the fans are. I mean,
this is a 2-6 Edmonton team, and they're cheering on a 2-4 goal late in the third period.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that exactly during the game. So good on Rogers' plays, because that was pretty impressive for a team that's subpar compared to what they should be.
Well, the other thing is that the one thing that Edmonton can do, is they can score in bunches. I mean, all they have to do is just get one. Yeah, not this year, but all they have to do is get one, and it seems like they can score like 4 or 5. I mean, I distinctly remember there was a game they were down like 7-3, and it was like less than 10 minutes in the third period, and they didn't end up winning, but they made a game out of it, and they ended up losing 7-6. So you can never count out that team with those 2 guys, with Leon and Connor.
And that's why this team is so good despite having poor goaltending and poor defending, is because they can score like crazy. It is terrifying.
So some of our defensemen not named Suter and Miro had some rough nights tonight. So, I mean, out of the bottom 4, because they all had their moments, who do you think? And it was mostly in the third period, so I'm not going to get onto them too much because they were exhausted. But who struggled the most out of the bottom 4 for you guys?
I'll give that to Harley.
Harley struggled,
especially compared to how he's been playing, because he's had a really good start to this season. But I mean, the first goal, he was a little bit out of position on in the first period when everyone was very healthy. And then the third one, I mean, that's
all him.
He fell. I mean, it's not all on him, because Hagenpah made a terrible play on that as well.
Yeah.
They both sucked. I think that's the worst defensive effort we've seen so far this season was on that play. But boy, he ends with the -2 on the night. I think he's the only star that ends minus.
Negative.
Nope, him and Delandria.
Delandria's 4th liner. He doesn't count.
He doesn't count. But yeah, not great by him. you don't really look at time on ice. That's a little bit deceiving tonight because of so many penalty kills and stuff. So, but yeah, not great by him.
I kind of want to give Lindell some credit tonight, honestly. I mean, he did have a couple of moments where it was rough, but he had 7 blocked shots tonight, and it was obvious that he was sacrificing hard tonight, and also has 4 minutes of shorthanded time on ice, as well as Hawk and Pod doing that as well. Both played very, very well on the penalty kill. It's just outside of the defensive side, handling the puck side is still a problem for both of those players.
I got 2 things that now that y'all both mentioned it. The penalty kill. It continues to be probably the best part of this team, honestly, other than the fact that we're getting 5-on-5 scoring. It's looked great. I don't know what you guys have seen out of them, but I think the thing that surprises me the most is their aggressiveness on the penalty kill when they realize they can take advantage of it. If there's a bobbled puck or if it looks like one of the defenders is not able to control the puck well. And then the second thing that kind of frustrated me a little bit is just Mason Marchment, man. I mean, he has been really good the last 3 games. He really has. And I got to give him credit for what he's done offensively and even defensively. But dude, stay out of the box, man. And I mean, the first penalty he took, I think that was a legit penalty. The second one, I need to go back and look at it again and see what I think. But
they were both not good penalties. I mean, it's a stick right on the dude's hands. They're going to call slashing like 80% of the time.
Right after a turnover.
And then I don't even know how he did that hooking. He like went between the dude's legs and it was so weird, but it was hooking.
They were both penalties and they were both stick infractions,
they were obvious.
And they were pretty obvious.
They were egregious. It's hard not to call those.
He did still have a good game in the offensive zone still, though. So as long as he keeps doing that and he can outweigh the bad that you're going to get sometimes with his penalties.
I agree, but 2 a night is still too much. If we do 1 a night and he's getting an assist or a goal every night, then it's forgivable.
100% agree, but it's not like we're dogging him like we were at the beginning of the season. Because he's playing good now. Yeah. Just stop taking penalties.
And the penalties are needless too. I mean, they aren't at good times. They're half the time he doesn't even get the puck from it. It's not smart.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's talk about the other side of special teams tonight. I honestly think, and this is my own personal opinion, I think they just need to stop trying to set up in the offensive zone. I mean, it seems like the only way that it's working, at least right now, is off the rush. And maybe you just do that with the top unit because it's got Hintz, Pavelski, Robo, Miro, and so on and so forth with Jamie Benn. And that seems to work. But and maybe just do it with the second unit and set up. But what do y'all think? Go in, try to get a rush opportunity, and then just go back and let them, I guess, clear the puck. I don't know.
Go back out. No, that's not correct. But you should try and score on the rush, especially since, like you said, for whatever reason, setting up is not working for the first line. I mean, they're passing themselves out of this zone.
Yeah, I really think it's just that they're overpassing.
Yeah, and scoring on the rush opens up the blue line more for you and makes it easier for you to enter the zone. The reason that we scored on the rush tonight is because Edmonton did not respect the rush chance that the Stars had. They were staying up high, trying to trap him on the blue line, and utterly failed. It was poor defending. So if you keep doing that, you're pushing the defenders back. You're making them give you more space, and you should enter the zone easier.
So speaking of defensemen, we also need to talk about Nils Lundqvist. He took a shot, and it looked like it crippled him. Over here asking, did Nils get back on the ice? I actually did not even know if he got back on the ice until I saw the end of the game, and he was leaving the ice going down the tunnel. So he did end up coming back, which is good news. But hopefully nothing comes of that. But what did y'all think of Nils Lundqvist's game tonight?
That particular play was huge. I mean, he blocks the shot, stops the pressure from Edmonton. We pick up the puck and go the other way and score. I mean, we scored because he blocked the shot there. I mean, he blocked it poorly because that's not where you want to block the shots. That's where you get hurt. Ask many a defenseman, they will tell you that. But it goes the other way, and we get the game-winning goal from that. I mean,
And talk about block shots late in the third. I mean, they still got a ton of shots in the third period. We still had some massive block shots. Rope Hintz, the guy who scored 2 goals and had an assist tonight with 2 big block shots late in the third period. I mean, this game doesn't scream Selke Trophy. I don't know what does.
The other thing that I was thinking about while you said that, James, is the transition. We made a good play in our own zone and we scored in the other. That's exactly what we did on the first goal, right? It was exactly the same thing. It was a little bit different situation. It was Wedgwood who made an enormous stop. And then was it Hintz that scored the goal on the other side? I think Duchesne, excuse me. I knew that was wrong. Duchesne with a really beautiful goal. So again, that's the theme of the game for me is we played really good defensively on the second night of a back-to-back, and we were extremely opportunistic, and we didn't take we took advantage of the fact that we made really good defensive plays.
That first big save by Woodruff, though, was because he turned it over on his own.
So, hey, he still made the save, though.
He still made the save.
He still made the save.
But they also just missed a half wide open net, too. But whatever. Yeah. I like the narrative. Let's keep it going.
Speaking of missing the net, Leon Draisaitl had a couple of one-timers.
He just whiffed.
He's 6 games straight without a goal now. That dude scored like 50 goals last year.
Speaking of other guys that can't score, Evan Bouchard. I mean, how many posts did he hit? Like
3 times on one power play.
It was like, oh my gosh. It's like, that's ridiculous.
That's impressive at that point.
Yeah, Wedgie builds the wall inside the pipes. He doesn't cover the pipes with the wall.
He doesn't cover the pipes, right? Yeah.
It's not
efficiency.
Efficiency, yes. And then we would be not good if we didn't mention the fact that and I think one of you slightly mentioned it, but Pavelski and Hintz absolutely led the way offensively tonight. They took over the game, and I forget who said in our little group chat, but they said, okay, everybody else, y'all can chill out for the game. We got this. Those 2 guys. James said that in our group chat, and you're exactly right, James.
They scored another one after I said that too.
Yeah.
So
pretty ridiculous performance by both of them. And I mean, it wasn't like the other lines were poor tonight in the offensive zone. I would say maybe the Ben line wasn't as good as we've seen the rest of the season, and the Sagan line maybe dropped off a little bit late in the second period. But
second night of
back-to-back is probably the big reason for that. But these guys, I mean, they had 3 good chances. They scored on all 3. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Great shots, great passes. I mean, and they were both the primary assists on the other's goals. And they were all great passes. It was just ridiculous.
So Robe Hintz with 2 goals, 1 assist for the evening for 3 points. He had 3 shots for 17-17 time on ice. And Pavelski has more time on ice than he does, 18:08, and he's got 3 points as well, but the exact opposite, 1 goal, 2 assists. So, I mean, those guys continue to be ridiculous. And I know y'all say that Wyatt Johnston has probably been our best forward, but man, I can't not say that Joe Pavelski is our best forward right now.
Not say it's Rope Hintz.
It's Rope right now, man. That's 3 games straight with multi-point games.
I guess that's a little bit true as well, but I'm a big Pavelski stan. So
yeah,
that's
just how I played like game 1. Then he has an extra point at least.
That's true. He did not look. He looked very off that first game, and ever since then, he's looked like the Rope Hintz we know.
I think he still had an assist in that game too.
He did?
Yeah,
maybe so. Maybe I mean, he looked totally off, right? Do you agree that game 2
this year? I thought he did in the first period, but he caught up fast.
Well, okay.
First line is the reason why we won the back-to-back game tonight,
and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you can rely on the first line, but what we're not doing anymore is only relying on the first line to make some big plays for us. I mean, Duchesne gets on the scoring tonight. I mean, Marchment, Lindell, Heiskanen, Jamie Benn, Robo, they all have points in the game tonight. So it's kind of spread around. And then we got some decent defense in the first and second period. And then I don't blame them at all for the way they kind of trickled out in the third period. They just did not have anything left in the tank. And Wedgwood stood on his head after saving 26 shots in the third period.
Seamless segue. One other thing I want to talk about was the fourth line. It was a lot rougher tonight than it was last night. Last night looked pretty good and looked very good in the offensive zone. They let up some pretty big chances and some sustained zone time on defense.
And this is kind of where swapping out Delandre and Steele, I think, hurts a lot. They went from playing 2 or 3 games in a row, having a night off, to now they're playing back-to-back. And then Steele or Smith is the one who's always been on the line, and he plays like 9 minutes a night. So tough ask, but still same. Like it was rough all night long.
And I hate to admit it, but it looked like that line was missing Foxa tonight.
They did. They majorly missed Foxa tonight.
Chris, can you say that again?
Foxa is probably one of our best forwards on the second night of a back-to-back.
That's fair. Especially the way that they played tonight. They definitely missed him.
And then one final thought. The Stars are no longer not in first. First in the Central Division after tonight's game. 15 points to 14 over Colorado. Suck it.
So, big game on Saturday. I never would have thought I'd say this, but someone in the comments said that the Canucks are absolutely destroying San Jose right now.
0 right now at the end of the second.
Oh, he was saying it was 7-0 a second
They
ago.
scored another one.
So the Vancouver Canucks have kind of come out of nowhere and have been one of the better teams in the Western Conference, and it really sucks for the Stars because they're playing their third game in 4 nights, and we'll have to see how their game plan goes. I'm assuming Otter is going to be in the net for the Stars for that game. Surely he's going to be in the net. I mean, poor Wedgwood, 49 shots. I'm going to give him 50 shots. I mean, I'm going to give it to him. 50
give it
shots.
to him.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought this was interesting, but last thing, and then I'll take your final thoughts, and we'll do biggest winner, biggest loser. Deserve to win-o-meter on moneypuck.com. Any ideas?
It's like 25, 75, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you look at the expected goals, in the second period, it's pretty close still. You're pretty much...
the third,
you're pretty much in a
out of the
toss-up.
water.
And then the third is just 45-degree angle up for the Oilers and nada for the Stars. So, yeah, second night of a back-to-back will do that for you, I think.
I don't really care. I'll take the win. It's 2 points in the standings.
That's where I was at tonight. I was like, wow, we're playing really good. We hit the third, and I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, no more good.
And
but
then
that's okay when you're on a second night back-to-back. We'll take it.
Throw up your hands, get the 2 points at the end of the night anyway.
Yep. Did your job.
All right, guys. Biggest winner, biggest loser tonight. Who you got?
Rope Hintz is the biggest winner. My guy is fantastic. He looks gorgeous. You see that hair? Oh my goodness, what a man!
Beautiful. I'm taking Scott Wedgwood because he stole us a game tonight.
That's crazy.
Honestly, that's a backup stealing you a game, and that was his third start, right, or second? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I think it's his third.
I think it's his third. I think he's 2 for 1. That's a winning record with your backup in. That's all I want.
I think
since
Ryan's
y'all
gone.
kind of went with.
Oh no, there he is.
No, I'm here.
Hi, Ryan.
No, the obvious. You took the obvious ones, so I'll give it to Joe Pavelski tonight. But really, the biggest winner for me is Scott Wedgwood, because I mean, did we mention that this guy only makes $1 million as a backup? Like he makes $1 million. That's it, and he just made a 46 save outing against one of the best offensive teams in the NHL, despite them struggling right now.
Wedgwood haters pay homage.
Yes.
My biggest loser goes to whoever picked the 3 stars of the game tonight. The number 1 star is Gagner. Sure. I mean, 2 goals and a big moment. Yeah, whatever. No Wedgwood on here. 46 saves and you don't get on
stupid.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, guy. Whatever. Pretty homer pick.
My biggest loser is Yanni Hakanpää for stepping on the ice when there was already 5 skaters on the ice.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close. He just jumped on. He's like, oh,
he saw Suter skating towards it for a second. He's like, made on contact. He's like, all right, well, guess I'm going. He puts his head down, skated all the way to the blue line. It was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, and then also the bad play off of a face-off. I mean, he pokes at it, instantly gets caught, instantly off guard, and then is trying to defend 2 people at once, slips and falls, and does nothing.
I will give it to the Edmonton power play. They
I
had their
will give it to
opportunities
Leon
tonight.
Draisaitl, man. Like
He was not on, and he was not on tonight at all. But it was really that is, I mean, last year they were literally the best power play in
Ever.
NHL history, and they have not been able to get anything going this season with two of the best players in our generation. That's crazy to me.
And they just went 0 for 4 against a backup goalie.
And I know the Stars are third in the NHL or second in the NHL when it comes to PK, but still, I mean, you're the best power play probably in the world, and you don't even get a single goal off your power play.
If you got McDavid and Draisaitl, you should score when you get 4 power plays a night. That should happen.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else, gentlemen?
We didn't even talk about the goal that shouldn't have been a goal, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Well,
I kind of wanted to hear what y'all thought about it because I thought that he did get puck first, but after he got the puck, it was like floating, and then he pushed Wedgwood out of the way, which I think shouldn't be a goal.
I thought he got enough of the puck and not enough of the pad for it to be a good goal. It's very on the edge, I agree, but
regardless, the non-call on not challenging is the right call, especially when it's 4-2.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with that. I don't know. If the Stars did that, I would be upset if it was taken away. I see that, and I'm like, that's a strong play. Guy's crashing the net. He's trying to get a puck on there. He's following through on a shot, and it pushes the pad out of the way.
My main problem about it is that the shot goes right where Wedgwood's pad was until his stick pushed the pad out of the way. That's my problem with it. I mean, it wasn't over the pad. It slid right across the ice. Right into the goal, right where
I would have to see a little bit more on it. But generally, I want to reward aggression like that. So that's why I like it being a goal.
To be totally honest with you, I mean, I didn't really care. To be totally honest, I was just like, okay, it's a goal. Let's get going again. So
at the point that they don't call it goaltender interference on the ice, that was my mindset too. But I'm still quite upset that it was a goal in hindsight.
Fair enough.
Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Stars still get the win. They win 4-3 over the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl don't get very much going tonight at all, really. Which is very good. No points at all for both of those guys, which is crazy considering they seem to score like 3 points a game. But okay, anything else?
Big game on Saturday. We're going to play probably the best team we've seen since the Vegas game. So it'll be fun, and our guys will be beat, but we'll see what they can scrap together to try and steal one out in Vancouver. You know that we know they're super successful out there. That's their favorite place to play is Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere on the West Coast is our favorite place to play.
Well, maybe because the Canucks were so bad last year, and we still ended up finding a way to lose to them. Now that they're good, maybe we'll destroy them. Right? Reverse psychiatry.
Reverse psychiatry.
Yes, reverse psychiatry. Yes. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Anyways, along with Chris and along with James, my name is Ryan. This has been Sarcastic Remarks. Thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook and to Raycon for being our sponsor of this episode of this podcast and all of THPN. Go and check out sarcasticremarks.com for all the latest information on our podcast, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Christian, can you take us out for us?
We go again, boys. GG, boys.